Hi again, guys. I'm not sure what's going on tonight, but we're talking about Candyman. So there's got to be something very scary going on. Hi, Emma. Right, I'll just add you in. Thanks to everyone for being so patient. Cynthia's going to change to an iPad, so we'll see if that works. But we're just in. When I see a pop up, I'll try. If not, oh, I'm sad, but I'll try and do another live with Cynthia at some point. Emma?
Hello.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh. Four
what's
times.
happening?
Cynthia's just trying to change to an iPad, so when I see a pop up, I'll try, and then we'll go from there. But we'll just carry on now because if I do it a fifth time, I think something's going to pop up behind me and go. Ah! You never know. Oh, Emma, that
Oh,
just made me jump.
oh,
Chaos.
did you get
That just made me jump. I was like, what's that
oh,
coming out of Josh's head? Oh dear, yeah, Karen times four. I am not going for a fifth time.
my
How
brain.
spooky is that? But yes, so
Aaron, Andrew,
we're going to be chatting about Candyman. You never would have guessed it, would you? But tonight we have the brilliant Josh. So rumour has it that if you say his name 5 times in a mirror, he'll appear behind you with his meaty hook. And I didn't mean that rude when I wrote it, but now I've said it. That sounds a bit bad. So just realised when I wrote it, I promise I wrote that innocently. Just when I said it, I realised how bad that sounded. Right, let me try Cynthia again. I
How
know,
did you know?
exactly. So rude, Nerissa's put. And we have the wonderful Emma. So she is sweets to the sweet with a delicious dark side.
That's a baby.
Oh no. Woohoo.
Mm,
And hopefully, no meaty
and no
hook.
meaty hook.
And hopefully we'll have, I know Cynthia, I've sent you a request. It's not working. Let me try again. It's just not letting me do it.
Really weird.
And hopefully we'll have Cynthia with us. So she's our special guest tonight, but really, is it just a ploy? And she was our victim, which it seems to be the case because it's not letting
That's
her
why she's not here.
in.
Oh my
Yeah. Oh. And
gosh.
I'm Chelley, and if Candyman asked me to be his victim, I would say, just take me now, Candyman, because you're hot. Oh, it was kind of like sexy, really, wasn't it?
Like, please, you bring up. Deep voice.
Oh dear. Oh, just try Cynthia again. Try sending me a request as well, Cynthia. But I'm pressing invite, but it's just not letting me add her in. So sad. But yeah, we're going to be
No.
chatting about Candyman from 1992, and it's kind of like an American gothic supernatural horror film, written and directed by Bernard Rose, and based on Clive Barker's short story *The Forbidden*. Has anyone, either of you read that? I haven't read
No.
that. No, but I'm intrigued.
No.
I'm intrigued to read it. So the film follows a Chicago graduate student completing a thesis on urban legends. You know, we all love a good urban legend. So it's urban legends and folklore, I think, which leads her to the legend of the Candyman, which is the ghost of an African American artist and the son of a slave who was murdered in the late 19th century for his relationship with the daughter of a wealthy white man. Oh, Cynthia is saying unable to join. Candyman combines elements of the two real urban legends, so the Bloody Mary, so the ghost who appears when you chant the name, and then the hook, which is like the killer with the hook, isn't it? A hook for a hand who attacks like couples in parked cars and I know what you did last summer's kind of thing. So where Barker's story kind of revolved around themes of the British class system and was set in Liverpool, apparently. Rose chose to refit the story to, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, is it Cabrini Green, obviously in Chicago, which was housing development. And instead of focusing on themes of like the British kind of things, they went for like full American kind of spectacular themes. I don't know. I wonder why they did change it. Like, from why wouldn't they set it in the UK? Just interesting choice, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was released in October 1992, and the film received positive reviews and grossed over 25 million in the US, where it was regarded in some critical circles as a contemporary classic of horror cinema. So my first question is, would you or have you ever said Candyman in the mirror 5 times? Josh?
Nope. I didn't expect that.
Never gonna do it.
Oh.
Gonna do it. I don't really believe in like supernatural stuff, but there's
we
always
lost you
I
there,
always
Josh.
think just maybe 1% of you, 1% of you should sort of just be careful. So yeah, I would never do
No,
it.
I'm too scared. What about you, Emma? I think you might have at some point. I've got a feeling.
You're right. I did. When I was a kid,
I knew it.
I did not agree as well. I was dreadful. I remember distinctly me and my 2 friends, Chelley and Jolene, growing up. We sort of would do all the horror marathons down at Blockbuster and everything like that. And so I wrote Jolene into, and she didn't say the first one though. She made me do it. I did it together, and then I did the 5th one, and she didn't. She was like, oh,
that's no.
It's like an urban legend when Brenda and Natalie do it outside.
Yeah. So yeah. But I don't think as an adult I would have done it. Like, as a kid, I was just like, meh, I'd go into cemeteries and do whatever. But as an adult, I've seen a bit more of life and I'm a bit more cautious.
No, I think I remember at sleepovers, like just kind of daring each other to do it, but I never did it because I'm too much of a wimp. Cynthia!
It's a miracle.
She's here. I know, that's it. You like appeared out of nowhere, just like Candyman.
You fly in from Chicago?
I don't know what that was, and I'm on my iPad, so it's not stable. So I'm going to be doing this all the way through.
Oh, bless you! Oh, I kept pressing like invite, and I was like, one of them's got to go through. I'm sure it has. Yay! I'm so happy you're here. Yeah. Oh, yay! So we was just saying, have you ever said Candyman 5 times in a mirror, or would you? I think Cynthia's a yes.
No.
Oh.
No. I'm not stupid. I just make imaginary people do very stupid things. I would never do that.
That really surprises me with all the dark stuff that you write as well. I would have thought you'd be
because what
I do it like every weekend.
It's the secret to my success.
Get around with my husband.
Oh yeah, so I'm too much of a wimp. And Philip's just joined and he's put, it was always you, Helen. Yeah, I love that. You should all do it now live on camera.
No, I'm leaving.
I don't
End chat. Emma's like, yeah, I'll do it.
I was stupid when I was a child. No, we can.
Oh, no, nice try, Philip. I like that. We were tempted. So was Candyman your first watch, or what are your memories of your first viewing, Emma?
Oh, I watched it when I was a kid. So when I was a teenager, I definitely watched it, and I don't think I really appreciated it at all because I'd watched so much horror. I made myself sick on horror, and I don't think I appreciate how good that movie really is. So I, as an adult, rewatching it, I was like, wow, this is really great. And I didn't realise. I just kind of had this vague memory in the back, but all the social commentary and everything like that just went, whoop, you know, straight over my head. But I mean, I come from that kind of an area. So we had flats opposite my council house and they were covered in graffiti. Not quite as bad as, I know why they went for America, because not quite as bad as that. But yeah, so it went all completely over my head. Now I'm rewatching it, think, wow, it's really, really good, isn't it?
Yeah. How about you, Cynthia? You've seen it before because you told me it's one of your favourites.
Yeah, but I didn't watch it for the first time till lockdown.
Oh,
yeah. So and it was because I was so scared. I think when I was like doing my sums last night, it came out when I was 8, and I remember people talking about Candyman at school. And I think I just have those memories of being so terrified as a kid that it was just something that I could never watch because I was so frightened. And during lockdown, because we had nothing better to do, we were watching so many films. I was like, right, it's time. And I've just got the deal for Last One to Die. And there were so many weird coincidences.
Yeah, it's all right. We lost you. I lost you a little bit, but you came back.
No, just saying there were so many weird coincidences with Last One to Die, like the urban legend aspect and all that. And I thought, I can't believe I've never seen this before because it is completely my thing, and I love it. Yeah.
Oh, how about you, Josh? I know you've seen it before. I know you have.
Yeah, I love it. I watched it first as a teenager, and it was sort of like, it was quite near the end of my I'm getting into horror phase, where I'd watched like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend and all those films. And then Candyman came in right at the end, and it really stood out to me because it was about grown-ups, whereas all the other films I was watching were about teenagers.
Yeah.
And so this film, not only was it about grown-ups, but it felt like grown-up horror, like it had grown-up things to say. And it really made me feel like, oh, I've entered into like my adult horror phase now. And yeah, I just love it. I could watch it. I watched it last year, and I could watch it every year till I die. I just love it. It's such a great film.
Oh, I love that. Well, I thought I'd seen it before, but as I was watching it, I didn't remember much about it. Obviously, the iconic scenes I remember, but I don't know whether, like Emma said, I just have seen it before and then I blocked out all of the social commentary stuff and then just remembered the scary bits, or because I just didn't remember anything about it at all. Like, just obviously the iconic parts. So whether I've just seen bits of it or I just didn't take it in, because I'm surely I would have seen it before, but anyway, it didn't ring a bell, some of the things that when I was watching. But I'm so glad that I watched it. It could be, I used to go through a phase of like just watching bits of films and never finishing a film, like when I was younger. So that could be what happened. But I'm so glad that I watched it through because I thought it was really, really good. I enjoyed it.
Was it Gloria? Oh my God, it's really
it's not. I don't think it's that gory, you know. Like, yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about the dog. Yeah.
Blood
that's already. You just watched it.
I know, forgot about that bit. I blanked that bit out because I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Doggy. I think I could have done with a little bit more blood, maybe. I did think I thought there'd be more death. Yeah, you know what I'm like. Melina's put, I watched it for the first time last year and thought it was amazing. So surprised by the social historic commentary. Yeah, it's amazing, really. Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
So the film's opening credits feature like that great aerial view. So I know we was all putting little pictures up last night about it, and apparently it was quite unique at the time. They used like this sky cam, which can like shoot up to 500mm lens or something with no vibration. And apparently at the time he'd never seen quite a shot like that before. And then obviously you've got like that opening score, which is eerily good. So do you think like that opening scene and the score over the top like kind of set the atmosphere and the tone of the film? Like, did you get a good sense of what was to come, kind of thing? Josh?
Yeah, yeah, totally. I really remember seeing that opening credits for the first time and feeling kind of a bit like dizzy with it because, yeah, you really haven't seen anything like that where it's like a perfect aerial view of these amazing streets in America. Yeah, I think it's great, and it's kind of it puts you in the mind of just how far they are traveling out of the city to get to Cabrini Green and kind of leaving behind this like bustling city to reach this sort of like really quite bleak landscape. And yeah, the music is just brilliant.
Yeah, it's definitely. How about you, Cynthia? I saw you put a message up about it looks like PowerPoint or something.
Oh yeah,
that's like that's as bad as my Josh just gave such an intelligent answer, and I'm there going, yeah, that was my first and only thought was, oh look, it's like PowerPoint slideshow when the things come in, and I'm like, that must have been cool in 1992. But now that you say about it, I honestly never thought about it before. But when I think it's a city landscape, so it's obviously going to be a film about a city, an urban setting, but then it's got that real creepy music over the top. And I think as the film goes on and you have got, you know, modern day living with these legends, actually it works really nicely. But I would have never ever thought of that if you hadn't have asked that question.
See, this is why I come up with these weird questions.
I feel dead clever. Yeah.
How about you, Emma? Did you like the score over the top of like it was like really like looming, I thought, like over the city?
I love that score. Having grown up dancing, it just reminded me of ballet lessons, and you know, mistress sort of smacking the back of your butt and saying, pull it in, you know, like things like that, and then come on, pull up, and things like that. So I was like, oh, this is a bit classical music over the top. It is creepy, but it just reminded me of that piano in the corner, and you know, the old girl playing it, and your teacher going, you know, you know. And I would have liked a little bee actually sort of buzzing in and out of the film. You know, I would have liked that to be following along, you know, as we were going through the city. That's all I could think of is, where's the little bee? And then it just obviously lands in the place where the story's told. But I thought it was great. I thought, and you could see that they really were happy. I thought it was a helicopter. I didn't know it was some sort of new contraption. I thought, oh, that's very good.
Yeah. Some new type of thing that didn't vibrate when they were using it, I guess. So
so no wonder they did so much of it, because they were like, oh, this is great, exciting.
Get their money's worth.
Do you think the credits were longer, weren't they, though, back then? You know, when you watch an older film, they're so much like, now we're way too impatient. It's like get in there immediately.
No, that's so true, isn't it? Like, they rarely put like opening credits over things anymore like that, do they? It's very
they're not long. You're right.
But bring them back, I say. I like it.
It also made me think about the bit where Candyman's floating.
Did you say
Candyman's floating?
It made me think about Candyman's floating over in the bed. It's like he's floating over the city.
Josh, you're so clever.
He is. There's a bit of
I just thought, 1992, like for the Candyman bit as well. I was like, oh, that must have looked really good in 1992.
I just thought, God, those roads don't look very busy. I bet it's different nowadays. So, I don't know why I think these things. I was like, oh, it's very quiet. So on the DVD commentary, apparently it was said that originally Virginia Madsen was unavailable to play the part of Helen. So at the time they were going to give it to an unknown actress, which ended up being Sandra Bullock. And apparently Eddie Murphy was considered for the title role. The Candyman role. But apparently he was too short, so in the end they chose Tony Todd because he's like 6'5". So what do you think of these alternative? What what do you think of the alternative castings? Like, it would have been a completely different film, I think. What do you think, Emma?
Well, as someone who's cast actors before, I would never. Eddie Murphy? No way. No. I mean, he was good in Vampire in Brooklyn, so he did make a good vampire. I'll give him that. He was a great vampire, but he's funny, you know. I would just be waiting to crack a joke, you know. I know, but yeah, not Eddie Murphy. And Sandra Bullock, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. No, I quite like the cast they went with. I think that was perfect.
Yeah, me too. What about you, Cynthia? Did you think that, can you imagine the film with Eddie Murphy and Sandra Bullock instead?
No, especially not Eddie Murphy, because he would be too recognisable for one thing. You wouldn't think Candyman, you would think Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
I think Sandra Bullock, like when she was younger, she was very fresh-faced and innocent, wasn't she? And Virginia looked like she had few experiences under her belt, didn't she? She liked a good chain smoke, and
she did.
You know, she was still beautiful and worked really well in the character's role, but she needed to not be so innocent, I think. And I think Sandra would have been really innocent.
Yeah.
Sorry, doggy.
Oh, doggy. Oh, yeah. Oh, hello. Oh.
Precious. Oh, just
so pretty.
She's like, I'm not impressed with any of you.
She says, I will call Candyman.
Oh, so cute.
Oh, dear, bless. How about you, Josh? Can you imagine Sandra Bullock? I nearly said, can you imagine Cynthia then? Can you imagine Sandra Bullock and Eddie Murphy? No.
And it's just brilliant. I would watch that film in a heartbeat.
I can imagine it as a spoof film.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see them do a remake. Yeah, like a comedy spoof remake. It's called like
Candyman.
Or, you know,
oh,
something like that. I'd love to see that. Yeah.
Oh.
No, I completely agree. I think that Virginia Madsen had that grit to her and that sense of like, don't fuck with me kind of feeling, which really works. I think Sandra Bullock can have a bit of an edge, but you just sense her purity too much. You can, she's too nice.
Oh, Josh, are you still there? I don't know. I'm not sure whether is Josh there? Have we lost Joshy? Oh, he's back. Oh,
I can see
this is
you.
Honestly, this chat is cursed
you.
today. This chat is cursed. Yeah.
But
Larissa's put correct decisions were made. So yeah, so we all agree the casting was good. And like Josh, as you were saying, like Virginia played like this edgy character, but also the vulnerability in her eyes when they're doing those shots and, you know, on her eyes. It's just amazing. She's an amazing actress, brilliant. So obviously the titular character of Candyman doesn't actually appear in the film until 44 minutes into the film, which I was like, where's Candyman? Where's Candyman? And obviously Tony Todd, amazing actor, compares his character's abilities to invoke fear and suggestion and seduction. And he kind of compared it to like Scarecrow from the DC comics and Phantom of the Opera. I think he also has done a comparison too. But do you think that he plays Candyman well? Like, did he make a really good scary villain? Cynthia?
I think so. And I first saw him in Urban Legend rather than... No, not Urban Legend. Final Destination. Where he plays the morgue attendant. But I knew who he was. And just the fact that I knew who he was, I was scared of him. And
it's that voice. It's the voice.
So imposing, isn't he?
Yeah.
he's just tall and a bit otherworldly. You know, he's almost like a Tim Burton character, isn't he? So yeah, he was a good. I mean, the thought of Eddie Murphy in that role in comparison is just ridiculous, isn't it?
No, definitely not. How about you, Josh? You're a fan of Tony Todd, I'm sure you are.
Love him. I met him at a party.
No,
I went. Yeah, it was like. Yeah, it was in San Diego, and there was a party for Final Destination 5, and he was there, and I had to build up the courage to go over to him, and I was like,
"Be my victim."
Like, he was the tallest person I'd ever seen. Yeah, I know. He was so cool. He was wearing an Alfred Hitchcock t-shirt, and he was really nice. Took a photo, and he was really nice. But yeah, I was terrified. I did expect him to like raise up at any second.
Oh my god! Yeah, you would have been like, "Do it more, Tony Todd!" Oh god, that's amazing, Josh. Oh, I'd love to meet him.
But yeah, he's a great character, and I think he played it really well. I like that because I read that Bernard Rose, the director, talked about the character as not necessarily a villain, but sort of like a poet, like a romantic poet. And I think that was really conveyed really well by Tony Todd, who he recites this really poetic dialogue, and it's beautiful and really seductive as well. You know, you can totally believe why Helen's just like, hi.
Oh no, he just play it so well, doesn't he? What about you, Emma? Did you think he played a good bad guy? Well, bad guy. Is he a bad guy?
Yes, I think we could say he's a bad guy.
Everyone. He's not scary, though. I don't know whether scary is the right word. I don't know. Unnerving, isn't it? It's unnerving, but also you're kind of like, actually, I want to know more about him. Actually, I want to speak to him, and you shouldn't want to. You do, you know, until he opens up his coat and all those bees start coming out of his mouth, and you're like, "Whoa, what have I got myself into? I'm not into this." He's real dashing. So he was, and it did remind me actually of Dracula, kind of like that kind of poetic villain that you've kind of fall for, but you shouldn't. Yeah. So I think he did a good job.
Yeah, he's just got such a presence, hasn't he?
And also props to Tony Todd for actually letting them.
Yeah.
I did
really
wonder
puts in his mouth.
Yeah, I wondered because it looked so real, and you know, compared to the other 1992. Special I was a bit,
But,
wow.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Which is what I love about sort of practical effects. Like they would have just been like, we'll do it with CGI nowadays, and it wouldn't have been anywhere near as impressive.
So I think I read that those bees were like bred specifically for the movie as well, because they needed to make sure that the bees were like only 12 hours old or something. But they looked like mature bees, but then their stinger wouldn't be powerful enough. And apparently Tony Todd was actually stung by the bees 26 times, but over the course of the trilogy. But he was like a clever man, or he had a really clever lawyer, because he negotiated a bonus that every time he got stung, he got like $1,000. That's $26,000 that he got. I mean, that's smart, really, isn't it? Yeah.
He didn't even get stung once. He was like, that was
yeah.
Oh, no.
But yeah, that scene.
Wow.
He could have milked it, couldn't he? Considering I wonder how he had to prove he got stung or something to get the money. Yeah. So yeah, when I read that, I thought, what a clever man, like, to put that clause in his contract.
Or
clever and sexy. I kind of liked the way as well that when Candyman like walks, you'd never hear his footsteps, which obviously I know is the idea because you see him floating and that. But you know, like in that car park scene, and then he's walking towards Helen, but you don't hear any of his footsteps and that. And I think it just adds to like the rumor and the mythology, just not hearing those steps. Yeah. It was creepy. That whole car park scene.
the effect on his voice. They make kind of like an echoey sound effect
Mm.
on his voice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, creepy. Ooh.
Uh,
So yeah, so you made Josh, you just made reference to like the effects and that. So I think like to save money, they kind of instructed the special effects manager to use traditional effects instead of like optical effects. So you said you think it works better with those type of effects rather than CGI. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh yeah,
What do you
totally,
think, Emma?
100%.
Oh, sorry, Josh.
Yeah, even though you can see like, even when the idiot partner is like dead in the bath, you can see like they've added on a bit of a plate on the jelly with the stab in it. But I don't mind, it's great.
What do you think, Cynthia? Did you like those kind of effects, or do you wanted a bit of CGI?
No, I liked it. It was a proper traditional, like, I think sometimes CGI can be too much and not, it's like unnecessary stuff. This just did what it needed to do. And it was a scary, and I kind of loved like when you see like when her best friend is dead, and you can tell it's the actor just with like blue makeup on, and it's still the same. They had to really rig her up that way rather than now I think it'd just be like a face mask and a bit of CGI on an extra or something like that. So I love those bits.
Oh, I've always wanted to play like a dead body in like like in CSI.
CSI.
When they're like on the slab. Like I used to put in my bio, my dream is to be a dead body in CSI. Like I'd just love to be like covered in like blood and look disgusting. So if any directors are watching, call me. Dead body.
If I ever get my Netflix deal, Chelley, I'll write it into my contract.
Yeah, it can be arranged.
Oh, dear, it's always been my dream just to be. I don't know why. I'm a bit weird. What about you, Emma? Did you like the effects in it, or did you want a bit of CGI?
I'm always a fan of the old stuff because you had to really think your way around it. And so they came up with so many clever ideas how to make things happen. The computer geeks are really, really clever. I mean, that stuff is amazing. I don't even pretend to know how they do that. But I watch a lot of sci-fi. So without the CGI, it is good. But it does enhance, I think, for that kind of genre. But yeah, you have to work your way around it, don't you? And sometimes the old ways are the good ways. And so I'm with everybody else on that. I think it works really well. It makes it feel more realistic.
Yeah, definitely. I've just noticed Kelly's put, I saw the original Candyman back in the 90s, but I haven't seen any of the further films. Are they worth watching? So I haven't seen any of the sequels. Have you, Emma?
Yeah.
Have you seen this? Okay.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen any of the old ones. So I think, was there 2 more afterwards? I can't remember.
I think there was 2 and then the new one, I think, yeah.
But I did watch the Jordan Peele one because I was curious to see what was going on. Yeah, I wanted to, because I love Jordan Peele. He's one of my favourites in horror. And I can't wait for People Under the Stairs. Please hurry up. Because that's my favourite from back in the day. That's such a good movie. If you haven't seen People Under the Stairs, watch that. But Josh knows. But it's I did watch that one, and I watched it, and I'm glad I watched them back to back because it was a direct sequel to the old one, and it lent a lot from the old one and pulled it into the new. And obviously they had some of the actors from the old one in '92 back in the new one, which was great.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to watch the new one after, but then time just hasn't been my friend this weekend.
Yeah, do watch it, Chelley. It's good.
I will give it a watch, actually. So have you seen any of the sequels, Cynthia, or
just that one?
The new one.
I adore everything that man does. I'd watch anything that he did. I didn't know he was doing People Under the Stairs, though.
Yes.
My husband introduced me to that film, so good. Yeah. I've not seen. I say it every single time when we watched Candyman last night, and then I said, right, we need to watch the second one, and because we never have, and it's all Helen's story, I think. So it focuses on her. So I think so. I might be making that up completely because I've not actually seen it. But so yeah, I'd like. I mean, I've watched some
yeah, is it?
terrible sequels, so it can't be
I
much
can't remember if it's
worse.
her daughter.
I tried to work my way through Friday the 13th recently, and they're just all the same. So it can't be worse than that.
Yeah.
Oh, and how about you, Josh? You've seen the sequels, have you? Or you've seen the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen all of them. I quite liked there's the second one's called Farewell to the Flesh, and I quite liked that one, but I haven't seen it since like the 90s. Yeah, I remember it was okay. The third one is like a TV movie, and it's just sort of a bit of a cheap shocker that doesn't really resemble the first one at all. And then the new one I thought was okay, but it didn't quite land
you know what you thought?
for me. I thought it had some
Did you
good
get
ideas.
to the ending?
But yeah, I just felt like it muddied the mythology to the point where it was doing something different to what it was originally set out to do, and it didn't quite fit together for me.
I wondered if it was again.
But I loved the opening where they continued Helen's legend, because that's very cool that she has become her own urban legend. It's just brilliant. So that was great. But yeah, I found it was a bit, didn't really know what it was doing.
Well, I might check it out, and then I'll let you know what I think.
I think I think for that one you really need to pay attention. So if you're half asleep eating popcorn, it's going to be all over the place for you.
Because every night.
I was like, hang on, no, right now this is that and that is that, and I was like, okay, I've got it. So just right what it said.
Yeah.
I think that's why I liked it though, because I love when films and books do that, and you can go, oh, so that's from this and that's from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know whether we lost it. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. I do like it when it's like little pieces of things and stuff like that. So I'm going to check it out, and I'll let you guys know what I think. Definitely.
Awesome.
Karen's just put she hasn't watched the film, so thank you for being here, Karen, even though you haven't watched it. But Karen said, I haven't watched the film because I'm a scaredy cat, but what was your favourite nice moment of the film rather than the scariest? Josh, did you have a nice moment?
Oh, no. I don't remember nice bits in this film.
I'm not sure. What about you?
I like the friendship.
Yeah, the friendship. Bernadette. Yeah.
Helen and Bernadette are great together. And when they're going up into the... that was a nice bit. Together. I think the bit where she sits on Helen's coat on
she puts it.
And you think she's looking it has to be nice. Don't get dirty on the floor, and then she chucks it on the dirty bar.
No.
And sits on it.
Oh dear.
Did you have a funny bit?
No. What's the funny bit?
So, you know the bit where she's in the
Cynthia?
hospital?
Hello. Are you there, Cynthia? Yeah, I can hear you. What's your funny bit?
I can hear you.
So there's a bit where she's in the hospital, and she's, freaking out. It's the bit where Candyman's appeared, and she's saying there's a murderer in the room. And
I did laugh at that.
He goes, 1,000 mils of whatever. And I was like, 1,000 mils? Of what? Like a litre of drug. And he says it again. It's like,
she's already
1,000 mils stat. And it just really, really made me laugh, because it was obviously someone had gone, you just say what you think you would say. And he was like, give me a litre. And then they come in with this teeny syringe. So that made me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
That
bit did make me chuckle. It bends,
yeah.
Did you notice any nice bits, Emma? Did you have a nice bit?
Oh, the baby.
Our chat tonight. Did you have a nice bit? Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, with my kids, I told them not to stream for an hour, and then as soon as an hour's up, then it's back on the streaming. So it's probably them.
Oh no, it's because we was running behind as well, isn't it? Did you have a nice bit that would make Karen watch the film?
Baby, because that was so cute. When they came in and she was like, "The baby's my world," and so that was really cute. I love that. All the ladies are looking at the baby, and the baby's cute.
Yeah. So did you have a favourite part of the film? So it doesn't have to be nice, it can be horrible and gory and yuck, yuck, yuck. But did you have like a favourite part, Emma?
Yeah, I actually liked when Bernadette was in the car and they were going to, you know, the tower, the high-rise block, and she was tooling up in the car. She was like,
yeah,
and she's like, you know, I need all this. You know, she's making herself protected because she doesn't know what she's going into. Yeah, and Helen's just like, la la la, I can do what I want.
Yeah.
You know, I can go where I want. No one's going to hurt me. And I'm like, crazy. So yeah, I thought that was kind of funny that her friend was, you know, so wise and intelligent, knew where she was going, and Helen was just like,
yeah, I love that bit. That was good. What about you, Josh? Did you have
a white privilege commentary, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh? Did you have a favourite moment or a favourite bit?
Oh, my favourite bit
that ending.
I just love the guy looking in the mirror, and he says her name, and you're like, you don't really notice it, and he says it a few more times, and you kind of go,
I was counting them as well on my fingers.
And then she disappears, and it's so great because the whole film is all about stories and legends and like mythological figures, and she has sort of like fulfilled her own worst fear, like she has become a legend, but like there's a weird power to it as well. It's really like bizarre. I love it. I love how complex it is.
No, I love that scene as well because you know the scene like before that where she escapes from the hospital, Helen, and then she goes to the apartment and he's like moved the floozy in.
That's my favourite.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. You go then, Cynthia.
No,
you go and then I'll follow on.
It's just the way she walks in and the girl is like so terrified and she's like, go on then, make a phone call, and the girl's like, no, and I thought that was exactly what I would do. I'd be like, I think I actually said last night that's what I will do.
I love her reaction.
Oh no, but the other reason why I liked that scene, I've got two favourite scenes. That was one of them because the whole time I was sitting there thinking, why doesn't she just run in the bathroom and go, Candyman, Candyman, you know, and call him, so that then kills the husband and the girl, and then obviously at the end, you kind of get what you kind of was wishing for at that moment, if that makes sense. And I was like, yeah, he deserved it.
Yeah.
But my other favourite moment was when Candyman appears behind the doctor in the hospital and just goes with his hook. Yeah, and I thought that was like really good because like, you're kind of expecting it, aren't you, to happen, and then you're sitting there thinking, no, it's gonna happen. But yeah, apparently it won some type of award.
I love it when he flies out the window.
Yeah, apparently it won some type of golden chainsaw award that moment, for the time, I guess, and apparently it gets cut a lot from DVDs. I don't know how true that is, but apparently they cut that bit sometimes out of some of the DVDs to change the rating, I think. Yeah,
it's on my DVD. Well,
yeah, so maybe
collector's edition.
Maybe so I'm not right.
Whether it's like an extra scene.
Same.
Oh, we're sad.
Yeah, maybe. So did you have a favourite line in the film, like anything that one of the characters says? Josh?
I love it when Helen's at that dinner table and she's smoking and she's just like, we're gonna bury.
Yeah. Oh, I love Helen so much. Oh yeah.
But then they bury her, like he's next to her grave at the end. They've buried her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that, you know.
Me neither.
No, I didn't catch that. Yeah, I like it. How about you, Cynthia? Did you have a favourite line?
Can't think of a favourite line. I quite liked the little boy. Was he called Jake?
Oh,
the little dude.
The little boy.
Oh, yeah. There's a bit where he goes, I ain't scared of nothing. And I was like, yeah, Jake. He was cute.
He was amazing. Oh, so good.
Candyman ain't real.
Oh, how about you, Emma? Did you have a favourite?
Like he wants Candyman to be real.
Did you have a favourite line?
Well, I did also like the wee boy, but they were making him tell the story, and I thought he's only a little boy. Is this some sort of child endangerment on set? What are you doing? It was quite a horrible story he was telling, but I did like it. Yeah, I liked it from him though, because it was, you know, it was told the way a child would say it, wasn't it? But I actually thought, when they were around the dinner table, I actually thought that the guy telling the story, telling the urban legend, the professor, I thought he said hangry bees.
I thought he said hangry. Yeah. Because has it been a word for longer than we've known? Like, yeah.
That wasn't around back then, was it, Chris? No, he said angry bees. They're not hungry and angry.
Well, they were.
Little hangry bees.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad Cynthia said that. I'm going to tell him. See? Just my ears.
Oh dear. Oh, I don't know whether I've lost you, Emma. Oh,
gone again.
What's going on tonight, honestly? Yeah, you're back. this chat is cursed. It's Candyman. I think one of my favourite lines was when Candyman, so Tony Todd, says, "I am the writing on the wall, the whisper in the classroom. Without these things, I am nothing. So now I must shed innocent blood. Come with me." And when he says that, it's like, it's just eerie, and it's the way he, you know, the way he
Freddy
delivers
versus
it.
Jason totally pinched the idea.
Joshy,
you know how like Freddy had to like make people.
I don't know whether I'm talking to myself. Are you there, Josh?
Josh was talking about Freddy.
I don't know whether that. I don't know whether that was my end then, you know. See, so it is definitely cursed. You're talking about Freddy?
Yeah. He's iconic.
Yeah, don't worry. I've said it now.
I'll have to watch it back later and see me freeze like, and then you say something good.
Is that how it goes?
No, probably if it's me, I'm probably like, or something. So apparently, I've just got a couple more questions just to finish off. So apparently it was based on like a real crime. So coming through the mirror was based on like a real crime that happened, as in the plasterboard, not the actual mirror coming through there and then committing a murder. And obviously the setting of Cabrini Green was real. So do you think it made it more realistic and felt more true to life, that this could almost happen in like real life kind of thing? Josh?
Yeah, like there's like a gritty realness to the film that it does feel like it could happen even if it wasn't a mythical, revengeful ghost. You know, it's like, yeah. I mean, it did happen. There was a guy who dressed up as Candyman and like hurt people. So yeah, I think it does add that extra layer. Although it makes it feel a little bit like you could have changed the name of the block. You know, why did you choose to use the same name? I think that's slightly important.
Yeah, no, definitely. How about you, Cynthia? Did you like the way it was based on real life and a real life setting?
I didn't know it was. So obviously in the film it's based on, you know, there's a real crime. So I didn't know.
No.
As Josh said, I think, change the names and places and, you know, give it a little bit of anonymity. But I think it just fed into that whole urban legend aspect, didn't it? That, you know, it's based on a true thing, which means that it could be real. And that's what I love about urban legend. It's that thing of, but it happened to a friend of a friend, and you know, but my cousin's auntie knows somebody who it happened to, and you know, we all know the same stories, but none of us know if they're real. So the fact that that was based on something real, probably, especially at the time, gave it a real edge.
Yeah. How about you, Emma? What did you think about it being set on something real and set obviously in the area that it was set? which was real. What did you think?
Oh, I like Cynthia. I didn't know it was
Emma?
based on something real.
Yeah.
Oh, can you hear me, Chelley?
I can
We're
hear
still
you.
here.
Sorry.
I didn't know it either, so it didn't. But urban legends always are. There's always something that happens that it springs from, isn't there? So it springs from something. So you always know there's something behind it. But even if it's warped all the way along until it's something completely different, that's what I did like, that they played with the fact: is it Helen who's doing all this and she's just nuts, or is it actually this ghosty entity or something else altogether? Yeah. So I think it does add to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I thought they did a good job of bringing it to life. And it was, I forget who messaged me now, so I apologise, but someone messaged me saying this is actually based on a real thing. So from that, then I looked it up, and then I went down a little bit of a rabbit's hole, like looking everything up. So yeah, Kelly's put, I didn't know it was based on real life. Sounds freaky yet intriguing. So yeah, it was, look it up. It's pretty like scary. So apparently Virginia, this is just a bit of a fun question, so we can go as wild as we like. But apparently Virginia Madsen was actually hypnotised while she was filming this, and she was given like a trigger phrase on set for her scenes with Candyman. So apparently she grew like increasingly uncomfortable with the method, so asked for it to be cancelled. But it was to make her look like she was under Candyman's spell. So what do we think that trigger phrase was to get her out of the hypnosis? Josh?
Oh,
Trevor?
Trevor. Yeah. I think it was meat hook.
Well, so she was hypnotised. Is that not just acting? Should she not have just been doing her job? And
yeah, I don't understand. But apparently she has said this. She has actually said they did put me under some type of hypnosis. But
that's so weird.
Yeah,
That is strange.
Yeah.
Well,
possibly
she looks great.
Maybe she's still hypnotised.
Yeah.
Maybe they never.
You never know. She's
she's
still finding that little trigger word.
That's why
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah. So I was just pondering. I was like, I wonder what the trigger word was. Like, because obviously it couldn't be Candyman, because obviously. Anyway, that was just.
Honey?
Everyone's
like
saying
as a bee?
Honey. Oh, honey. Yeah, I like it.
I think it would have to be something that they weren't going to say by accident. So something like totally unrelated. Yeah.
Like
what did you say?
Potato.
Yeah.
Like shredded wheat. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So lastly, so you're all fab writers. And would you say that Candyman or like urban legends, I know definitely for Cynthia, urban legends like influence your work, but have you ever been influenced by Candyman or urban legends in your writing? If so, like how? Cynthia, we'll go with you first, because Cynthia's books, if you don't know, amazing and filled with urban legends and mythology and amazingness. So yeah.
So all of them in a way. So Last One to Die, Spring-Heeled Jack is like the main inspiration, and that was a legend from London in the 1800s. Win, Lose, Kill, Die, even though it's more contemporary, it has got like a 90s cult aspect. So the kids at the school are kind of retelling these stories about the cult, and making their own stories about them. And then The Midnight Game is based on creepypasta, which of course is just urban legends that have been born on the internet. So it's
Chelley's favourite.
Yeah, it's a bit of a sore subject, creepypasta, Cynthia. Yeah, from a chat we did about Urban Legend, the film, and I think it was Leroy mentioned in the comments about creepypasta, and I got so confused because I didn't know what it was at the time, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, people know or they don't know. It's one of those people that I light up and go, "Ooh," or they're like, "What?"
Yeah, or they're like me, and I'm like, is it macaroni?
The creepiest
Oh
pasta of
my God,
all.
I'm never gonna live that down that day, because you just see the confusion on my face. Like I thought someone was like pranking me or something.
I'm so surprised I hadn't heard of it before.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I hadn't heard of it in that term kind of thing, and it just went over my head completely. But now I'm clued up, you see, especially thanks to Cynthia's new book. I'm well clued up now. I know what not to do. I know what it is. So yeah, Kelly's put, I love Spring Hill Jack stories. So yeah, check out Cynthia. So that's this one, Last One to Die. Yeah, and Melina's put, I've just read Last One to Die and absolutely loved it. So,
Yay! Thank you.
Karen's laughing at creepypasta. Yeah, Karen was there. She witnessed the confusion on my face. How about you, Josh? Have you ever put anything into your book? So, obviously, Shadow Glass and your new one coming out, Burn the Negative. So, any urban legends built into those? Yay!
Yeah, like for me, I love like Hollywood urban legends or urban legends about movies. And I think it probably is because so many of the horror films I watched growing up were based on urban legends, like Scream, like the calls coming from inside the house, and I Know We Did Last Summer, all those films. So yeah, my new book's about a supposedly cursed film, and I loved digging into that and trying to find out why people find cursed films so interesting. Why do I find them so interesting? And sort of all the mythology that builds up around this thing that people made in like 6 to 12 weeks in America. You know, I find it really fascinating. And there's so many urban legends.
Maybe tons. Say again.
I just didn't know that. I didn't know there was so many about movies.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to do like a chat on cursed films, like when Josh's book comes out or something.
Yeah,
I love it. I absolutely love it, and I think on Shudder, have you watched that series, the Cursed Films series on there? Amazing, like I'm proper into it. Like love it. How about you, Emma? Have you ever put? I know you've got 2 short stories in here, and have you ever put any like urban legends and things into your stories?
I haven't. I've never. No, I mean, I've had 3 novels published, and nothing was like urban legendy there. I'm just trying to think any of my short stories. Well, I don't think so. No, I don't think anything's kind of influenced it. That's something I've not looked at, which is interesting because now I'm going to go down the rabbit hole with you, Chelley. So yeah,
so much
no, definitely. I always like spins on tropes. So you know, I like to take a monster and make it a bit different or spin it on its head. Yeah. But never urban legends.
Is it me again?
Is it me or you, Chelley? I don't know.
I don't know. At this point, I think it's me.
I'm having a lovely time listening to Emma. I don't know about you, Chelley.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on. And then like I can only see me moving, and then I'm like, am I here on my own? I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry if I keep interrupting you because you're all so insightful, and I keep missing.
Every 2 seconds, you're like, where is everyone?
Oh God, I don't know what's going on. Oh dear. No, I think Emma would write like a really good urban legend story. So Emma,
Chelley.
Yeah, do it. Kelly put, has anyone looked in the mirror and said Candyman? We all said no at the start. No way, Jose. Oh yes, Emma said she did when she was younger, but not as an adult. No. And lastly, Kelly said, what would you rate the film? Emma?
4 for me.
4?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Out of 5?
Yeah. Out of what? Out of 5?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going out of 5. So 4 out of 5 for Emma. Cynthia?
Yeah. I'll go the same because I was going to say 8 out of 10. So I was really surprised when you said 4 then. So I was like,
But we liked it.
really tough. Like, please don't review my book on Amazon.
So yours is 8 out of 10 or a 4 out of 5,
Yeah.
Cynthia, yeah? And how about you, Josh? Same. Oh, 4.5. Yeah.
If I'm allowed a half.
Yeah.
I'll
I
give
would
it
say
that.
4 out of 5, definitely. And then I'll let you know how I rate the new one, because I'm definitely going to watch it. You've all tempted me into it. Oh, well, that's it for our chat. Thank you for being so patient. And I'm so sorry if I kept interrupting you. I don't know what's going on. I know Cynthia arrived and had joined us. And yeah, it's just been a bit of chaos. Definitely Candyman.
Just don't watch this one back.
I need to watch it back to see all the bits I missed, and I'm going, what? What did you say?
Definitely Chelley.
So I'm so sorry if I interrupted anyone, but yeah, but it's been great. I've been really enjoyed it. I was really intrigued to see what you all thought of this one, and I'm so glad that I watched it, because I definitely haven't seen this film all the way through before. So yeah, so thanks to everyone who joined in the comments, and
Thanks, everyone.
do check out Emma and Josh and Cynthia. Yeah, Kelly's book Candyman Chaos. Yeah, that's what it was like tonight. But thanks for chatting. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Cynthia. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.